Hi, Keith Yackey here, founder of Private Money Pro and creator of the Private Money Process, a full step-by-step system teaching you how to raise lots and lots of cash for your real estate deals. See, here's the thing. 7 years ago, when I started as a real estate investor, I had no money and I had no idea where to raise the money. And it seems like this little part of the game of where to find the cash and how to be able to have cash ready to be able to buy properties is something that's touched on and taught a little bit, but not really gone fully into depth on where you can find all of this money. And at first I used to think to myself, well, where do I find it? Where is it? Now, 7 years later, having raised over $45 million for all of my deals and for deals that I've done with partners, I realize now that money is actually everywhere. And I remember thinking to myself in the beginning, like, all right, well, where is this cash? And if the big guys, the hedge funds and other guys that have been investing for so long have all this money, how am I supposed to be able to compete against them? How can I go in and muscle my way around? And I'll tell you, it took me some while bumping around and figuring this whole thing out. But once I got it figured out, I realized that this was a skill that anybody could learn. It's not just a talent that you have that you're born with, and you just come and say, I'm just a money raiser. No, very few people are that good or that talented. And even if you do have talent, very few people can translate that talent into the skill of raising money, which actually brings a lot of hope to me, and I hope it brings a lot of hope to you as well, because talent is something you're either born with or you're not born with. A skill is something that you can learn and you can cultivate and you can get better and better and better at. And so I've taken upon myself, as the expert who knows how to raise private money in every and any situation for lots and lots of deals, whether it be single-family residences, commercial deals, whether it be apartment complexes, I've taken it upon myself to be able to teach you, because as being one of the experts in the industry and having been paid very highly for people to say, hey, come and teach me how to raise private money for my projects, or teach me the ins and outs of the mindset and the minutia and just basically the whole gamut from A to Z. Where does my mindset and where do I need to do and what do I need to be and all those types of things about raising private money, I realized, you know what? I need to share this and get this out, this message of how to raise private money with the world. So what I've really created is pretty much like a recipe for raising money. It's just A, B, C, D type of thing we go through, because it's a skill that you can cultivate. Now, having said that, it has always blown me away that, when you get a job, a lot of times what happens is you will do what's called on-the-job training. So you get in there, you really have no idea what you're doing on the job, but as you get in there, you start learning as you go along. But what I've noticed about entrepreneurs, real estate investors specifically, is they don't understand that there's a lot of on-the-job training and there's a lot of skills that you need to either A, learn, or B, you need to perfect and get better and better at. And there's a lot of things in raising private money that you do need to get better at. There's skills that need to be cultivated, need to be learned, need to be enhanced and perfected. And so in that one little thing, I realized, entrepreneurs, real estate investors specifically, really need to learn the step-by-step process of how to raise private money. And the three biggest mistakes I see all the time, having instructed, tons and tons, hundreds of investors, having been on some of the most prestigious real estate stages across the country, sharing, my methods and sharing my system of how I raise private money, I can tell you these are the three biggest mistakes that I see that everybody has. And so I want to share these three mistakes with you so that if you are sitting there and you're saying, you know what, Keith, here's the thing. I've got a deal. Now, having said this, I'm presupposing that you've gone out there and you've learned how to, find deals. You've learned, what it takes to fix them properly, and you've figured out how to flip them on the market, or possibly you're holding, a portfolio. I'm trusting that you have those skills or that knowledge at least down, and then that's why you're coming here, because a lot of times what I've seen is people will say, I know how to find the deal. That's easy. I know how to fix it, like my dad's a contractor, or my friend's a contractor, or I'm a contractor. And I know how to, to get rid of the property and put it on the market with a realtor and sell the thing. I get that, but I can find more deals than I have money for. And so it seems like this is that topic that keeps coming back over and over and over again. How do I find the money? Where is it? I hear you, Keith, and I hear others say it's everywhere, but how are you finding it? Where do I get it? So these three things, and I guess it's maybe goes without saying, but let me say it anyway. We all know that if we could raise more private money, we could do more deals and we could make more money. We could make our dreams come alive. Some of you might be sitting there and like, man, if I could raise more money, if I could just raise the money to begin with, or some of you are saying if I could raise more money, I could do more deals, that would be able to allow me to retire, or that would allow me to be able to quit this job that I hate. And I know at the very beginning, in my situation, I was working a job and I couldn't stand my boss. I'm like, oh, I just want to go to real estate so I don't have to worry about this. And we realized that there's so many things that would enhance our life, and our life would be so much better in so many ways by being able to do more deals, by having more money, to be able to do the things we love, whether it's giving back to charity or whether it is getting the dream house or dream car you've always wanted, these types of things. So we all know the benefits and how it would just bless our life tremendously to be able to raise more money, to do more deals, but investor after investor after investor continues to make these three big mistakes. These are the three biggest mistakes. Almost every investor, when they come to me and they're saying, I'm trying to raise more private money, what do I do, Keith? These are the three biggest mistakes. The first and foremost is this one, guys. The first and foremost is they have no credibility. No credibility. Credibility. Yep, looks like that's spelled right. They have no credibility, meaning the lender has no idea who you are. And the reason for that is really on you, because you haven't told them who you are. You haven't put together and really thought through, well, what is my bio? What is my history? What is my past? What have I done in the past to get me to where I am here? You go, well, wait a second, Keith. I'm brand new at this. I haven't even done any deals. How the heck am I supposed to, have this amazing bio? Let me tell you something. Because I've lent private money, I have a lot of friends that are private money lenders, and I'll tell you the one thing that they always seem to come back to say to me over and over and over again is, Keith, you wouldn't believe these packets I get in, and the person doesn't even introduce who they are, what they're trying to accomplish, what they've done or what they've done in the past. And it's like they just assume I know who they are, and yet they live in Rhode Island, and I'm a lender in California, and they've got this deal that they found, and they're just like guessing I'm supposed to know who they are or what have you. And so the first thing I've noticed is people, they have no credibility. It's not that you don't have credibility, it's that you're not sharing who you are. So what do you need? You need to fix this. It's very simple. These are just minor, simple tweaks that if you fixed it, you would notice people would be able to be like, whoa, okay, tell me more about your project. You have no credibility. What you need is you need a good bio. A bio? Yeah, a biography. Just something that says who you are. Maybe you say, you know what, I'm an engineer. I'm not even a real estate investor. I just have freshly gotten in this game. Tell them who you are. I've been an engineer for such and such company for the last 15 years. I've been in charge of XYZ, products or procedures or processes, and I've got this deal. And what you're doing is you're just explaining a little bit about who you are, where maybe you went to school, what other projects maybe you've done. If you've done real estate investing, put together before and afters. Oh my gosh, if you just show a simple page, before, after, before, after, before, after, and say, here's one project that I did, or here's two projects that I did, that I completed, and here's how much money I make, or here's, I only made a little bit of money, or I made a lot of money. What you're showing is, I've got credibility. I've got a little bit of track record. I've seen this, or if you haven't done any deals, you're saying, this is what I've been in charge of the past, and I understand what's going on here, and I understand what's happening, and so this is who I am. It gives people a little bit more of just, who are you? It gives them that sense of, well, let me give you like a kind of a real world example. One of the most nervous things you can ever do is go on a blind date. I mean, think about it. You've never seen them, you've only heard about them, and yet you're going to go up and show up and have dinner with them. It's just a little awkward at first. But if you've been able to, like, let's say you look at their biography, you see their pictures, and you get a feel from them, and then somebody makes mention of who you are and what a great person you are, you walk into that situation so much more calm and like, okay, this isn't so bad. It's the same way with lenders and borrowers. Understanding, just tell them who you are. Let them know who you are, okay? In another video, I'm going to go into depth about how you can create credibility without having ever done deals before, simply by doing a couple of different things, all right? So for the sake of this video right now, you need a bio. Just explain to people who you are, okay? Second thing, and this is the one that blows me away more than any. How investors forget to do this is just, it's like, you have no, let me use a different color here so we can differentiate here. This will be exciting. No content. What? Yeah. It's like just stuff is just flim-flam together and emailed off to the lender, and they're supposed to just make, heads and tails of what you've sent them, and yet you have not really given them any content. Clear, concise, congruent content that they can see. Having sat in the seat as a lender and having, again, like I said, lots of lender friends, we just scratch our head wondering, okay, first of all, it's not even really clear what you're trying to accomplish. You've sent in some, hey, I've got this deal. Imagine if I just came to you and said, hey, I've got this deal. You put up $100K, and I think we can make about $20,000. Are you in? I don't care how good of friends we are, I'm going to say no. But if you come to me with good, clear, concise, congruent content, and you say, hey, I've got this house, I can purchase it for $80,000. Here's the purchase agreement. I've got the rehab budget, it's going to be this, so here's how much we can rehab the property for. Here's what we can sell it for, and here's proof why. And here's what the rate of return is going to be when you put up this type of cash, and you show a host of other things. Then I go, all right, so here's how much you need. Okay, here's how much I'm going to make. Okay, here's how long it's going to take. And here's how I'm safe. I get into, in some of my training videos, I get into the real depth of how to create this particular thing that you're going to need, and the reason why, because I help you get into the mindset of a lender. One of my trading videos is called The Mindset of a Lender, and how to put yourself in their shoes to see what they want, so that way you can give them what they need every single time. But suffice it to say, if you have no content, what do you need? You need a clear, concise investor packet. A clear, concise investor packet. Some people call it an investor packet. Some people call it a presentation packet. Some people call it, an executive summary with following details. It just has to have all the pertinent details of what you're trying to accomplish. How much are you buying the house for? What is the rehab? What are the specs of the house? When was it built? What are the bedrooms, baths? What's the square footage? What are you going to do with it? Are you going to flip it? Are you going to hold on to it for rental? What is our strategy here? Are we going to make a quick chunk of cash, or are we going to hold on to it for smaller chunks of cash and then a big payoff at the end? Let them know, okay? Who are we going to list it with? Is this a realtor that's reputable? Is this somebody that that we can use, or that we want to use, that we've used in the past and that has good results? How long is this going to take? What are the average days on the market in this area? Give me something. Tell me something. Please give me content that's clear and concise. Because as a lender, I'm saying, if you're checking off all my boxes and it makes sense, I want to lend. I'll get more into that when I get into the lender mindset, so you'll really understand how that is. But if you have no content, you need clear, concise investor packet. And now, I know some of you are scratching your head and saying, okay, Keith, listen, I get it. but I am not computer savvy. I'm not techie. Join the club, because you're looking at a guy who's not computer savvy, who's not techie at all. A funny story, when I got my iPhone, I had no idea how to turn the ringer off. I literally, this is so funny, I literally had to text my son, who convinced me to get an iPhone. I literally had to text him while he was in school, he's 13, and I said, Caleb, how do I turn off my ringer? How do I get it to vibrate and buzz? And he's like, Dad, I'm in school, but there's just one little button on the side, and click it to the left or click it to the right. Bye. So you're not talking to a tech-savvy guy by any stretch of the imagination, all right? But these are easy, and I can show you templates and how to do this and how to create this clear, concise investor packet. And you know, we have this joke around my house. If you can't figure it out, just go talk to somebody who's 21 or younger, and they'll show you how to do it. All right. Another really quick, easy tip that you can use is, I found these guys they're not like Geek Squad. They're like the Nerd Herd. They're like the computer techie guys. You can literally find them on Craigslist. Just type in computer training, computer teaching, something like that. And for like 25 or 35 or 45 bucks an hour, they'll come to your house and they'll show you exactly how to put these things together. Okay? Pictures of the property, the specs of the property, the comps. You got to have comps. That's what everything's determined off of what we can sell this thing for after, right? So if you have no content, you need clear, concise investor packet. You need something to present to the lender, or else you look like just a soup sandwich and you're just slobby and blobby all over the place. And that's not going to work, okay? That's not going to work. All right, number 3, and this is a huge one, massive. It made it to the top 3, okay? You have no confidence. You have no confidence. You're just not even confident about the deal. And this happens and it looks a lot of different ways. And let me kind of explain to you kind of the array of different ways not having confidence looks to a lender. First of all, when you send over a really terrible packet and it almost looks as if you're just hoping this deal works, and you're hoping that a lender might be able to lend to you. And when I talk to you guys back in further training videos that I want to just give to you guys by signing up, when you sign up with your name and your email, I just want to give you these free videos. One of them is the mindset of the lender. And I talked to you about, if you knew that lender's sole thing in life, his whole purpose of life was to lend money, how confident would you be walking in there and saying, hey, listen, I've got this amazing deal that I want you to lend on because of X, Y, and Z. And it's having that confidence that says, listen, I know this is a good deal, and here's why. The reason why I put confidence number 3 is because if you don't have any content and you haven't shown any credibility, you're not going to have very much confidence. But if you have credibility, either A, deals you've done in the past, or you've done things in the past, real estate related or not, and you put together amazing content where the numbers work and the figures work, then you're going to be confident walking into any hard money lender or private money lender and saying, hey, here's what's going on. Here's how we can make money. And that brings me to another point when I talk about confidence. A lot of times people are afraid to talk to people about money because they're afraid to talk about money. In our culture, it's kind of an interesting thing because we don't really like to talk about money. If somebody comes up to you and says, hey, can I borrow some money? Our first knee-jerk reaction, because of our culture, because of our society, is like, no, you can't. I don't know how you're going to pay me back. I don't know why you're in the situation you're in. Like, there's a lot of factors. What do you mean? Why do you need to borrow money? But a lot of times, we lack confidence in raising private money because we have a mentality, we have a mind frame that says, hey, can I borrow money for my deal, for my thing? Rather than say, with confidence, I've got an amazing opportunity for you and I to make money together. You see that switch? Do you see where that is now a totally different thing? If you're coming and saying, I've got an amazing opportunity for you and I to make money together, and you take it one step further, you stack on top of that with this confidence, and if you don't want it, no big deal, other people will take it. It's going to be gone soon, so you better act fast. Your confidence goes through the roof, and the ability for somebody to want to lend says, yeah, I'm in. So rather than push and push and push on them, now you're gently pulling and attracting. Okay? And this all goes with the mindset. And man, I could talk for hours about that, and I do in the free training videos. So when I go through this, if you're lacking confidence, what do you need? You need to have more confidence, but there comes through that you need specific strategies. Specific strategies on how to gain confidence. It's like a little bit like sales, and people they hate selling. I'm not a good salesman. I don't like selling anything. I don't like feeling like I have to sell you something. I just want to show you something and let you make the right decision for you. That's how I am, because I don't like pushing things down people's throats. That's not how I was raised. It goes real against who I am. So, but I'm a very confident individual, and when you have the specific strategies that you need, that you show, okay, listen, here's an investor packet or a presentation packet, a clear, concise, laid out information for you. Look at it and get back with me, but I've got 3 or 4 other people looking at it as well, so you need to act fast. That's a strategy saying you're not the only one. There's others that are looking at it. You need to act fast. It's going to be going quick. It's what we call in the industry maybe like a takeaway, right? So what happens is this. If they call and they're too late, it's already been, funded by somebody else. That's like the best position you could ever find yourself in, because then what happens? You've already got this deal funded, and then you now have another person who wants to fund your next one. You say, listen, you know what? This other one was already funded, but when I send out another one, be sure to get back to me very quickly. It's the best position you'll find yourself in. Believe it or not, guys, here's the situation. Right now you'd be like, oh my gosh, I'm trying to learn how to raise more private money. They will get to a point where you will be like, I have more private money than I do have deals. And then you're going to find yourself in another situation where you want to make sure that, okay, listen, I don't want to just go put good money into bad deals. And we'll talk about that in the further training videos as well. So I hope you understand that these 3 things, they're absolute cash killers. You will not be able to raise money unless you have good credibility, which all it takes is a good bio. You have good content, which all it takes is clear, concise investor packet, and you have good confidence, and all you need is specific strategies on how to present what you're presenting, so that way you can raise all the cash. Listen, guys, here's the thing. When I created this step-by-step program, I realized that there was a real void in the market. People weren't really, drilling down on how to do this. They weren't really going step by step. They were giving a couple of, outdated things. You need to go have luncheons. If I was to tell you the number one way to raise private money is for you to have luncheons for lenders, and you need to get up in front of them and you need to speak, and you're a horrible speaker and you hate getting in front of people and you hate talking to people, whether it be via camera or whether it be on stage in front of people, how well do you think you would do raising private money in this situation right now? You would be horrible. So that's where I would say, okay, well then we need to work on that skill of speaking. But what I would say at the very beginning, don't use that strategy. That's an old, outdated strategy anyhow. But what I'm trying to communicate to you is you need to look at who you are and say, all right, am I doing these 3 things? Am I doing these 3 things? All right, I want to see you. I want to train you. I want to teach you more. I want you to be able to experience the benefit of having a bountiful life, to be able to do what you want to do, say what you want to say, hang with who you want to hang with, drive what you want to drive, live where you want to live, go where you want to go. And that's going to be through the vehicle real estate. You need cash to do that. You need to raise private money. So hopefully this video has helped you. If it has, put your name and your email on the side so that way you can get more training videos. I just want to give these things away to you so that this can bless you and this can further your real estate investing career. So if you've, after listening to this, realized, hey, I'm making the 3 biggest mistakes, that's okay. We can fix them. This is a skill that you can learn or get better at. So if you have no credibility, you need to get together, spend some time, write a nice bio. If you have no content, that's okay. You need to get some time, take some time, make sure you have a clear, concise investor packet. So people, when you present them with the opportunity, they know what to do. And then lastly, if you don't have confidence, you need to learn the specific strategies. And I love teaching this stuff because I've watched people's lives just totally unfold. I remember I taught these techniques to an individual And he was about ready to do his first two or three deals. And then he and I sat down and really went through what he could do to really amp his game. He's on his 95th or 96th deal right now, just a couple years later, simply following my strategies. Guys, there's so many more training videos I just want to give you. I want to take what I know and I want to give it to you. Sign up beside here with your name and your email so that I can get this information into your hands. It's okay if you've made the mistakes, you can change. And there's so many more things that I want to be able to share with you and teach with you, specific strategies, how to build this packet, how to get into the mindset of a lender, all of these things. Guys, you can learn this. It's a skill that you absolutely 100% can learn. If I learned it, so can you. All right, so I want to turn you into a private money pro, somebody who's a professional, who knows what they're doing when it comes to raising money and having the cash to do your deal, so that you can live where you want, drive what you want, hang with who you want, get rid of your boss, do the things you want in this life to live your dreams.